Hey! Hi, my name's Joel. I am one of the founders of Real Trade, and this is my second draft for my elevator speech. Okay, here we go. Hi, my name's Joel. I'm one of the founders of Real Trade. My buddy Ryan has been in real estate for over 20 years. Works with a lot of hedge funds and property management, REOs, all that good stuff. But I met him probably 12 years ago, back before the 2008 fun part happened in real estate, and we were selling at a condo conversion. I worked with a lot of different guys, sales guys. I was a loan officer. Ryan was a salesperson, and he was always in the top 1, 2, or 3. He was always a top salesperson every month in the association. But one thing he did that was totally different is that unlike all the other sales guys who were a little pushy and, how would you say, creative with facts, Ryan had a certain tenacity about him that you would need in sales, but more importantly, he had this integrity of not coming up with good stories to sell, but he created with passion and integrity. And it's funny, him and I, honestly, he did not send me as many loans as some of the other sales guys. He used some other people with, whatever, it was fine. But him and I became close friends, even though, he could have sent me more loans back then, to be honest. But he really had a lot of integrity. So it wasn't too long ago, almost a year ago, a little less than a year ago, I was in cryptocurrency and I was trading. I was trading anything in crypto I could touch and make a profit. I was trading. I was loving it. I was doing quite well. I've always studied Forex and Forex binary options. I did a little trading in that. Never really got excited. Then, when I got into cryptocurrency and I really saw how Bitcoin took off, especially the reason it was, no one owns Bitcoin, no one manages it, no one controls any of it. It's a community effort, and that got me excited. So that and the fact that you have 8 and 12% swings in a lot of cryptos, which as a trader is a good thing. When a stock goes down or a coin goes down 8 to 10% a day, that's not bad. It's funny because the days that people talked bad about Bitcoin back then, or any coin, oh, it dropped 11%. I'm like, yes! The only days I didn't like was everything's exactly where it was yesterday, which almost never happens in crypto. But those were my only bad days back then. Ups and downs are the best. But anyway, the bear market hit. And right before, luckily, the bear market hit, I talked to my buddy Ryan. I told everyone about crypto. I must have told 80 to 100 people during that time about cryptocurrency. Now I've probably told about 300. So I say 200 or 300 people via online or in person. But the one thing that really struck me about Ryan, he was one of my closest friends, which most of my friends and family are like, crypto, that's fake money. M2 and M3 money is fake money, and US dollar makes it. If you don't know what M2 and M3 is, Google it. Anyway, it's fake money. But Ryan, one of the few people, not only got it, but he got it. He went insane. Within days, he's beating me up about real estate, how integrity can be improved, how an open ledger is exactly what his industry needs. And he was so passionate, and still is, about real estate. I feel like he was the one who created the real estate market, the industry, because it's his. In his person, and maybe everyone's like that after 20 years in the same industry, to him, real estate is everything about him. That's who he is. So he's like, this is what we need. So we went on, the bear market hit, and Ryan just wouldn't stop. I was supporting the whole way because I'm all about distributed ledger. I love the idea of everyone working together instead of one person, don't look behind the curtain. One guy behind pulling all the puppets in front. I never really liked that, and that's kind of what a lot of leadership is in our politics and corporations nowadays. The few control the many and also profit from the many. And I don't know. It hasn't really benefited me that much either, so maybe that's why I'm against it. But, so Ryan just kept going about real estate. Like, yeah, you do this. I kept sending him info and reading about it a little bit, and so I started following, and the bear market hit. I got into developing. I have a little background in sales marketing and internet marketing, about 10 years, but not much in creating custom bots or crawlers, but a little bit. I've bought some and then tinker with them and made a couple of my own. So I got a little bit of background for developing. But now, like, the bear market's here. I'm not trading a lot. Let's just jump into it. So I started learning about Solidity. I've been learning more about Python, dApps, all these different things, hard fork, soft fork, anything I can get my hands on and play with for a bit. I've been trying to play with, and I'm so glad I did, because now I am addicted to real trade and changing real estate, and I think real trade's going to be like Steemit. Well, actually, I can see us being a part of like Steemit, and then we kind of take it and move forward. It's just from real estate for us. But before I let Ryan go on, he's going to go over some numbers. We've done a lot of work on the business plan. We have consultants from law firms, old SEC lawyers, current, and we call it Silicon Valley. All those guys. We all these contributors. We have brokers. Everyone keeps adding, and it's great. But if you would, I want to paint a picture. Imagine a world of free. Imagine where people can make billion-dollar companies and organizations for free. Well, they don't make them for free. They give everything for free. Let's say I'm going to build a service. Let's call it, let's place you can share your videos and pictures and content about your day. And I don't charge you. You can put as much as you want up there for free. Now, anyone all over the world can also look at all this and access all your data for free. And by the way, this business model is going to make billions and billions of dollars. And if you haven't figured out, I'm implying, and I'm kind of talking about Facebook. So free, 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 that's all you keep hearing. And that's basically what the Industrial Revolution 2.0 is. Many economists and people in general call it the information age. Now, basically, Facebook is amazing. Apparently, they're doing something right. They're number 2 in the world. I think Zuckerberg's worth 80 billion, something like that. Maybe it's 100 billion now. Who knows? After 1 billion, he counts anyway. But he's doing pretty good. And the Facebook's not the only giant in there of free. You got Twitter, doesn't charge a post, doesn't charge a read. You got Tumblr, Pinterest, Snapchat, Pandora, Spotify. And yes, some of these services do have upgrades and all that, but that's where it all comes in. It's about the audience. But the 2.0 industry is about give away for free. Whether you're a consultant, a musician, you're a YouTuber. YouTubers don't get paid to make videos, and some of them make $1 million a month. I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's 2.0. Now, in this world of 2.0 where everything's free, at least all the big giants give everything for free, you have, imagine another company. I'm going to call this Headbook. You know, they're the competitors of Facebook. But in this hypothetical situation, Headbook was around before Facebook. And I know it's hard to believe, but one of the biggest things Headbook does differently, you can still share all your data, but they're going to charge a fee. It costs about $500 a year to $1,000 a year. But you can still share your photos, your videos, your daily activity. So it costs the content creator money to give it. Oh yeah, and the other thing is anyone who wants to view the content also has to pay to access that data. And it gets worse. Now imagine you're in Florida and you have pictures of your kids or grandkids or a great weekend on the boat, and you have family in New York who want to see your videos and pictures. Well, it turns out your friends and family in New York, they paid for New York Headbook. They didn't pay for the rights to the Florida Headbook. Yeah, so now if they want to look at your pictures and videos, they kind of have to pay for both. Now, on top of that, sometimes the Florida region and the New York region, they don't get along well. And sometimes data gets mixed up, or it's not uniform. Sometimes the square footage might be posted this way and somewhere else different, or anything could change. Now, imagine there's 900 different factions of this Headbook all over the country. And if you can't tell, I am now talking about a hypothetical business. Headbook is truly the MLS. That is essentially what real estate agents are working with. And in addition to that, if I'm the MLS, if I was a real estate agent still, which I'm not any longer, I would input my data in my MLS regionally, and then I forfeit my rights. Now my awesome regional MLS takes my data that I forfeited my rights to and sells it and rents it to Zillow. Now Zillow charges me and other agents, or even other agents, to sit their picture next to my content that was taken from me that I paid for them to take. As you can see, this system's messed up. Now, granted, the MLS is not all garbage. It started out pretty good. Back in the days, before the internet, the Industrial Revolution 2.0, Real estate agents had to fill out this thing called a paper form. I've seen paper, we've got it around here somewhere. It was paper. And on top of that, they also had to put this film. I cannot remember the name of the film, but you take a camera, a real camera, not your phone, but a camera. You would take pictures in this film stuff, and then you would submit it with your paper form. Now, the regional MLS would then take pictures on each piece of paper, this physical thing that you hold, they called it a picture back in the day, and they would attach it to the paper and then put all the listings in a nice thick book, between that and that thick. Very thick book. Now, the regional MLS would then distribute that book to all the paid members, and this did a couple things. One, it would give you a network of information, and two, it brought great value to that as agents, because any agent involved and it had that book had more value to the buyer and seller of real estate. Now, it's changed a lot. In the 90s, they had this thing called the internet pop up. Well, actually before then, but it really got popular in the 90s, even though everyone hated it. Sounds familiar, right? Like everyone hated crypto. Everyone hates it for about 5 to 10 years, except for the innovators. The innovators see opportunity. Do you think that $80 billion that Mark Zuckerberg has now, was that money there in 1980? I guess you could argue no, it wasn't. But the value was still there. The value of social media and that connection that Zuckerberg has helped create was waiting and untapped. It was bigger, in my opinion. I haven't done exact numbers. It was bigger than all the oil waiting to be drilled because of the new technology of drills and satellite imaging. That is exactly what Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all those guys did, is they saw that opportunity of wealth. They saw a need, they saw a new technology that was not loved by most people. My company's never getting a website. And people hate change. And that's how crypto is. Oh, I'm never going to use that to buy a cup of coffee. And that's fine. Because really, when it comes to the innovations and the opportunity that's missed, that $80 billion that Zuckerberg made, there's that much, there's little pockets of $80 billion parked everywhere right now. And it's by tokenizing social equity. We're basically taking the concept and the true equity of the information age, which is social data and interaction. Now we're tokenizing it and removing that centralized system and giving back even more to the social network. It is really what it is. That's what 3.0 is. Well, I can go down forever. And we didn't invent this over at Real Trade. No. Steemit is already like it. I can go down through companies that are worth billions of dollars. EOS, which is our favorite, we're building on Real Trade. EOS started at $4 billion. And guys, we're talking about, this is like talking about Facebook in 1994 when no one heard of Facebook. It was probably just it was called, what was the name? It was actually called Facebook, but it was different. It wasn't even a website. You saw the movie. Anyway, it was in infancy. And already EOS is worth $4 billion. Almost no one's heard of it, unless you're in the space. And those little pockets of $80 billion, just like Zuckerberg picked up, just like the Gates picked up, Jobs picked up, probably a ton of other companies and people picked up pots of billions. That's exactly what's sitting out there now for those who can see it. 3.0 Industrial Revolution is here now, and it's actually part of the fourth year. But that's what Real Trade is doing. We're just taking a little tiny niche, real estate. There's about 1 million that need to be tapped. We're taking real estate and we're focused on that because that's what we know. Ryan and all of our founders have 10 to 30 years experience, and they still have all their network in real estate. It's a huge market, and everyone needs a place to live and a business to work out of. But we are not reinventing anything here. So when we tokenize real estate and we make the social network like we are, it's not speculation. How we get there is a little bit speculative, but we take Steemit, we take EOS, we're taking all these open source projects that give us their working business model, even programs and codes. Everything's given to us. The companies are making billions of dollars. Because this isn't 2.0. 2.0, everything was closed and mine, go away. I'm going to market at you and throw pop-ups in your face and make billions of dollars. Nothing personal, Zuckerberg. You're awesome. However, the new one is social networking. It turns the consumer to a prosumer. And that tokenization, understanding the difference between a consumer and a prosumer, that's where the innovator is going to pick up their pockets of billions of dollars that are just sitting there right now. All right, I went way over. It took 15 minutes. I don't know if I'll ever get it under 8. Now let's go over the numbers.